Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to week 3 vlog. We've been doing this 3 weeks in a row. We've got, what, 49 weeks left. So today, the way we're going to start week 3 is I'm actually building a brand new no-dig bed. I'm pretty pumped. And the placement of it was actually my boyfriend's idea because it gets light first out of our whole backyard. So if you don't know, no-dig is a method where you kill off all the grass underneath with cardboard and then you layer on top compost and all kinds of good soil and all kinds of good stuff. So that's what we're going to do today. It's really good for the ground. It prevents erosion. You're not tilling it, and that is how I built my other garden beds in my backyard. The difference will be my other garden beds in the backyard have wooden borders around them. This one will not. I just kind of want to experiment with it and see what it's like. So let me, right along that fence is where we're going to build this garden bed. And I've got a bunch of soil that I want to talk about that I bought. But this is where we're building. Charles Downing was the one who kind of pioneered the whole no-dig method of gardening. He's in England. He's incredibly knowledgeable. I really recommend going to watch his videos if you want to learn more about no-dig. So I'm going to show you what I got to actually put down on top of the cardboard. So this is the first one. This is Whitney Farms organic topsoil. I actually bought this whole bag at Costco for about $8. It was really affordable. If you need an affordable option, I would definitely check out like a Costco's or a Sam's Club. This thing is massive. And then this one is Kellogg Organics. This is a very well-known brand. This is what I filled my other beds with. This you can get at like any Lowe's or Home Depot or anything like that. And it's gonna run you about same price, anywhere from like $7 to $9 for the big bag like this. So we'll go cardboard and then those two in-ground soils, and then on top of all of that we're going to put 2 different kinds of compost. This compost is called Texas Native. This is 100% organic compost, and this is actually recycled Austin wood. So this is a local company. It's in Cedar Park, which is north of Austin. And so this is one thing we're gonna put on there. This is the other thing we're putting on there. This is called Black Cow. This is actually compost made from cow manure. And so we'll be putting this on as well. So the goal is when you build a no-dig bed, you want to get anywhere from 5 to 6 inches off the ground of compost that you can. So that's why this looks like a lot, and that's because it is. But once you get your in-ground bed established, you can just top it off with new compost whenever you're gonna plant. And that's kind of how that all shakes out. Okay, so we've got all the cardboard laid down. You don't want to use cardboard that's coated like this. I used a piece of it right in the front where I can actually slip it out once the grass is all dead. But for the most part, you want to take off all tape, all labels, anything that sticks, because you don't want that to end up in your soil. So I'm actually going to wet down this cardboard because it just makes it stay better while you're spreading everything else. I know that the cow manure is really good for the beds, but good Lord, it smells and it's like a damp. So just wanted to give you a forewarning. Okay, y'all, so I'm done. That took me like maybe 30 minutes. And that was included me having to go find more cardboard. So this is a really inexpensive and easy way to start a garden bed. I know that lumber prices are like off the charts right now, and really the only thing it cost me was the cardboard that I already had and all of the supplies. And to get this established, I probably spent close to $60 at least on all of the soil compost and cow manure compost. So this is actually where my heirloom tomatoes will live, and I made it so it's actually for a 12 feet wide and just about 2 to 3 feet deep. It doesn't need to be super deep. I just want to have one tomato plant every 18 inches. So that's the plan for this bed. We're supposed to get a ton of rain this week, so I'm gonna go back and wet down all the compost just so it doesn't blow away. But I have a pretty good start getting ready for all the tomatoes that I plan on planting in it in March. Today is January 17th, so it's got about 2 months for the cardboard to start to break down. I probably will have to bust through the cardboard when I actually go to plant the tomato seedlings, but I'm pretty excited. One thing you do want to account for is having a little bit of cardboard past where you actually want the end of the bed to be, so that the grass doesn't creep in. I kind of learned that the hard way in my first no-dig beds. So yeah, that is day 1 of this vlog. I am pretty dirty, so I'm gonna get cleaned up, and I'll see you in a couple days. Hey guys, okay, so it is a couple days later after we built that no-dig bed, and I've done a couple of other things. So I want to give you a seedling update on the tomatoes and the peppers, and then I also want to show you I have attempted to start some flower seeds indoors. I've never started flower seeds, so I'm not going to show you what I did and why I did it, because I'm not sure that it's going to work yet. It's kind of hard to tell somebody how to do something if you've never done it. So first I will show you all of our tomato and pepper seedlings. Most of them are up at this point. There's been a few that have been a little bit slower on the draw. Is a big tray of peppers. They've pretty much all come up at this point. I have had issues with the jalapenos and the habanadas. The habanadas are starting to come up. The jalapenos, I think maybe a couple are germinating, but I'm having issues with the jalapenos, so more to come on that. And then these are all of my sweet peppers, and I do have tomatillos right here, and then I have some sunrise bumblebee cherry tomatoes. So these are all doing pretty well. Having a little bit of issue with the mini bell pepper germination and the Anaheim pepper germination. So I might have to resow those. I'm trying to give them a few more days before I do that, but so far everything here is also doing pretty well. And then these are all of our little tomato seedlings. They're doing really well. A few of them are starting to get their second sets of leaves. So everything germinated pretty well. I did resow a couple of them, like the black crim. I resowed one of the Rutgers. I resowed. And something I'm finding very odd is the red and yellow pear. I did red, yellow, and the yellow ones are really tiny. And behind it's a red, this is a yellow. Behind it's a red, and it's like 3 times the size. Very bizarre. And then this is my other tray of tomatoes. These are all doing pretty well. I'm having issues germinating my San Marzano tomatoes. Only 2 of those have come up so far, but I've heard that those can be a little testy, so not sure what's going on there. And then the Brandywine have also taken a while to come up, but so far so good on all the tomatoes. So for all of the tomatoes, I am now completely bottom watering them. I have a little bit of an issue with bottom watering when the seeds are still tiny and they're really close to the surface of the soil. I had one of my plot neighbors at the community plot tell me that the rain, like out in nature, the way that seeds grow plants, is the rain hits them and you can't rain from the bottom. And that's something I've never forgotten. So when I am germinating seeds, I will just pour water over, not fast or anything crazy because you don't want to like completely displace the seed. But that seemed to really help as the seeds were germinating, because
it's just hard for the soil to soak up enough water all the way to the top of the soil for the seeds to actually germinate. So now I'm going to show you and explain to you what I did for all my flowers and herbs. Again, I did this literally yesterday. Nothing is sprouted. And I've never done this before, so this is not a how-to. This is just a what I did, and I'll be updating you guys as the weeks progress. This tray, this is all herbs. A lot of herb seeds are teeny, teeny, tiny. So what you typically do is you either sprinkle them on the top of the soil and then you keep them moist, or you can just, what I did with like the basil is I just sprinkled them on top and then I kind of dug around with actually the tip of a pencil just to kind of mix them in a little bit. You don't want to get them too far down there because then they can't reach the light. So in this tray, we have Zloty Lawn Chamomile, we have cinnamon basil, sweet basil, Italian Genovese basil, which by the way, these both have the same like scientific plant name, so I'm pretty sure they're actually the same thing, but we planted them separately just in case. We love having basil, so all good. We have a mint, a marjoram, and lemon balm. So these are all herbs. Again, I'm just keeping the top moist right now with a clean spray bottle with water in it, and we'll kind of see how that goes. I am misting them a couple of times a day just because I'm paranoid. And then in this tray, we do have a couple of herbs. We have curly parsley and flat leaf Italian parsley. So those are the herbs in here. And then I'm really trying to try flowers, which is not easy. So in here we have, I'll put pictures up here so you can actually see what the flowers look like. We have crackerjack African marigolds. Marigolds are really good at keeping away pests, and they also just look really pretty. They're very vibrant, but they're really, really good for repelling pests. So we're gonna have those. And then torch Mexican sunflowers. These are really, really good in the heat. We have really hot Texas summers. There's probably at least 45 to 60 days in the summer where it's over 100 degrees every day. So these should do really well. We have Alaska red shade nasturtiums. I'm not gonna lie, these were one that I just picked because they're just really pretty. They're this really deep burgundy color and the leaves are variegated. And based on the name Alaska red nasturtium, I'm not actually sure how well they're gonna do in our heat, but we're going to try. And then the other one I got was a Black Prince Snapdragon. So really excited about all of these coming up. And again, these are a very same situation. I'm just gonna keep the top moist with a mister and hope for the best. And then since we're on the topic of flowers, I do have a few more flowers I'll be starting that I would like to go in my spring garden. And these only take about 3 to 4 weeks to germinate, so that's why I'm not doing anything about it right now. I probably won't start these until like mid-February. So 2 of them are actually seeds from a zinnia that I got at Home Depot. That they're a really small kind of zinnia, only about that big. And one was this beautiful mango color, never seen anything like it, and one was just yellow. But they were just a good size. They weren't really big, they weren't super tall, they were a little more bush zinnia. So we're gonna start those. And then more marigolds. So marigolds are great. I'm gonna be doing a bambino marigold and an orange flame marigold. Lots of marigolds. I put them everywhere. Marigolds and herbs are very, very good pest deterrents, which is important because there's a lot of bugs in Texas. And then 2 other seeds I'll be starting probably this week in a similar way that I started the rest of the flower seeds. The Bells of Ireland seeds that I got that I showed you last week. I will be starting these. I have to figure out what tray I want to start them in and how many I want to start because it sounds like there's quite a few in here and I really don't want to waste them. So TBD. And then the other thing is this Thai red roselle that I got in the seed swap. I really want to start this. I have like zero experience with roselle. So I really want to start these. The problem is I don't have the space for it. Roselle is huge, and so I need to see if there's somewhere in my community garden where I can put this once it grows, because I just don't have the space for it. But it's really pretty, and I think it would be something that the whole community garden really enjoys. Okay, so that's like a little mini update of all my seedlings. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. I did put up some arch trellises in the backyard. It's raining all week, so I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to show you that. I did have a little bit of an injury doing so, but all good. So we will catch up before the end of this week of vlogging.
Hey guys, we are over at my community plot today. It looks super messy, but that's because I actually hacked down most of the broccoli plants because they were really stifling the Brussels sprouts and the collard greens that are left in here. So I wanted to come today to check on the Brussels sprouts. I have a few of them like not actually producing the Brussels sprout, and I'm not really sure why. But things are looking pretty good here. It's been super rainy here, like for like a week. It's just nonstop rain every single, well, not nonstop, but it rains at least once a day. So it's kind of one of those things where at a community plot, if you're not coming here to like water or weed, it's kind of like in the wintertime, there's just not that many projects. So I just came this morning to check on everything. I am here alone. It's very early, like the sun just came up maybe 15 minutes ago. So let's check out what the plot looks like. So this is the broccoli flower. It's definitely losing a lot of its flowers, but it's still got enough left and the bees are really happy, so I'm leaving it for now. And then these are some of the Brussels sprouts. So these Brussels sprouts are definitely doing pretty well, but then these right next to it, like, aren't doing anything, and I'm so confused. There's nothing happening. And so these are all of the broccolis. I'm definitely going to be harvesting some parsley today to make some chimichurri because we're having steak tonight. But these are all Brussels sprouts, so they've got a lot of big green foliage, which is awesome, but only a few of them are forming Brussels sprouts, and the ones that, like these little short ones, have the best Brussels sprouts. I'm so confused. Oh, and there's a little broccoli. I should probably eat that. So here's another flowering broccoli that I'm leaving for the bees. And then this has all been uncovered now since I took down the broccoli plants. This is all cilantro. And then flowers, and then more parsley that I need to harvest. And then these little, I believe these little sprouts, I know some of them are weeds, but like that's a carrot that I sowed like a while ago. That's a little carrot, that's a little carrot. So there's carrots in here and there's weeds, and I'm not sure which is which. But then over here, like, maybe I just didn't space out my Brussels sprouts enough. I put about a foot in between them. But like this one has Brussels sprouts. This one has 0 Brussels sprouts. And then all up in here are my collard greens. I need to harvest some of those for smoothies. If you're somebody who doesn't really like the taste of kale in a smoothie, collard greens you cannot taste in a smoothie. It's really weird. My Swiss chard is still here, not doing really great. It didn't do really great last year either, so whatever. And then the mustard greens that I don't even like are still here. And then I planted this out as kind of a cover crop. These are all turnips that I literally just like sprinkled the seeds. And then there are also some carrot seeds in here. I believe like that's one. And again, I have a hard time with what's a weed and what's something I planted. But this is all spinach. So I'm pretty excited for this. This is all spinach. And then my sugar snap peas are coming up pretty well, and they've started to trellis. So I actually put them on a tomato cage, and that's what they're growing on right now. So it looks like I need to help these guys. They don't really know where to go. So sometimes, because they have these little tendrils that grab, if you just kind of place them where you want them to go, they'll start to climb by themselves. But sometimes they just grab onto the wrong thing and they just get confused. So sometimes with these ones with tendrils, you just kind of have to give them a little bit of direction and tell them where to go. And then here's my giant bed of oregano. And this is calendula. And this calendula is actually doing really well. It survived the winter. I planted it in the fall. So pretty jazzed about that. This is what the community plot looks like right now. I do have a lot of herbs to harvest today. I need to harvest the sage. I really need to harvest parsley. I didn't realize parsley grew so well here in Texas. And so gonna harvest some parsley, gonna harvest some rosemary. One way to use up rosemary is actually in scrambled eggs. We really like just chopping up a little bit of it and putting it in scrambled eggs. But also, I've finally found a good recipe for gluten-free focaccia bread. And so having some really fresh rosemary in there is really amazing. So that's what's going on at the community plot right now. If you know anything that clearly I don't know about Brussels sprouts, let me know. I'm a little bit sad about it, to be honest. All right, y'all. Well, that is all I have for you this week. Thanks so much for catching up. This is week 3 vlog. We'll start week 4 tomorrow, and in week 4, I'm actually going to be planting some bare root strawberries in a tiered planter, and then I'll give you an update on all of my seedlings and my flower seeds. And I'm also going to be showing you how to separate and replant tomato seedlings, because mine just had a really good germination rate. So happy gardening, stay safe, and I will catch up with you next week. Bye, guys.